Well, hello there everyone, welcome back to another NRG, this time on the ZX Spectrum, and the Konami classic makes it to the humble specky, yes indeed, Castlevania Spectral Interlude. A nice punny title, subtitle there, should we say. So yeah, well this, I saw development screens of this, going back to 2013, I believe 2014, and looked quite an interesting project back then. An idea to basically bring Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest onto the Specky, which eventually turned into its own entity as it is. So it's like Castlevania 2. It's got the sort of RPG elements with the classic Castlevania Metroidvania action, as we all know of the series. Of course, it's unofficial, not Konami's name on this, but inspired by the ideas of Konami, of course. And here we are with the first little introductory. Lots of dialogue in this. Lots of this scrolling text. When I say scrolling text, I mean text on a scroll. And there's a fair bit of comedy in this as well, which is kind of bits of the dialogue are rather witty, and plenty of insults being chucked around as well. It takes the piss of like a lot of in jokes to the series itself. Takes a lot of piss of the folklore of the series in a very nice and sort of maybe mocking way, but also a kind of homage in a respectful way. So this was brought to us in 2015 by the Rewind team. The Rewind team consisting of Sanchez, Darkman 007 and Diver Ford. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but think of Diver 4D. Them three chaps anyway, and a few little other bits and pieces involved, and it's very good indeed. It's a very interesting project. Some lovely graphics on display here. Some really good stuff. They've got the Spectrum singing and dancing here, they really have. 128k version, of course, 128k only, I believe. But it's got some really nice gameplay to it, very faithful to the original game, especially on the NES. One I think it's a two directional whip. You got jump and all that kind of stuff, collecting coins. You've also collect certain power-ups that you need to do during the game to collect. There's right at the beginning, I'm coming down to it in a minute, there's an artifact type to collect, which then you power up as you go through, to do collecting the souls of the enemy. And it's kind of sort of like explaining where the Belmonts went and where all the other where the future of the series went after kind of the Belmonts were out of the picture after the Castlevania 4, I guess. Especially, I suppose you want to look at it like that. Here's another little conversation we have, a little comical conversation with this dude, Joseph. Basically, he wants to be killed, which is a bit odd. But yeah, I'm not going to go into the in-depth plot of the game, because like I said, there's a lot of text on display. But what I'm going to do is talk about the mechanics, and they are, for want of a better word, very faithful, like I said, original to the original game. There's loads of screens in this. It's a big game. It's a very big game, over 150 game screens. Yeah, that's quite impressive. There's also 10 different enemy sprites. And there's also, you can link to an in-game map as well. I think if you unlock that or find it. There's save points in the game as well. When you go to get to an altar, there's a save point. Multiple save points, I believe, during the game. And lovely soundtrack as well. Lots of the original arrangements from the original games, very familiar ones like Bloody Tears, for instance, you'll see later on kick in. Very good. I think 12 songs in total. So it's impressive stuff technically. Graphically, it's very pretty. It plays really well as well. It's certainly a thought. It's a game you've got to put a lot of time into. It's a game that you can't just pick up and play. You've really got to feel your way into this one, get into it. It's got heavy elements of RPG, and there's a lot of, like I say, a lot of text, a lot of things to remember. So it's nice to see something like this on the Spectrum, especially like a demake, I suppose, like it is. So it's fascinating to see how it playing out. I would love to see this how Castlevania would look on the Commodore and the Amstrad or the Atari 8-bits. It would look interesting to see what would happen. I wonder if anybody out there would be tempted to make a Castlevania version or a Metroidvania game along those lines on them platforms. It would be interesting to see. So you can download this from spectralinterlude.com, which is the home website of Rewind, and tells you more stuff about the game and its development. So there are a few, how many bosses? Quite a few bosses in this as well. I can't remember how many off the top of my head. But there's also Dracula at the end, of course. Got to have a bit of Dracula in there. But like I said, there's a lot of this chitter chatter going on here, as you can see. So that's why I'm not reading it out. So we've got our Power Stone or Soul Stone, whatever the hell it's called. I forgot. With these dudes, it does get tough in places as well, really quick. You certainly don't really want to go in certain areas before you've got certain power-ups, and I think you've got to do a fair bit of grinding as well to get your cash amount up to buy certain things. It seems that way. So this was one of my very early playthroughs. I'm not playing this one live, by the way, as I'm doing the commentary. But it was one of my very early playthroughs of it, so I don't get far. And I was pausing a lot to read the text as well. But I tell you what, if you're a Castlevania fan and a big fan of the 8-bits like I was, or am, it's an interesting experience indeed, and it's pleasing. It's pleasing on the eye, it's pleasing on the ears, but like I said, you've got to invest a bit of time into this. The comedy is rather fun. I've got to really admit the comedy is rather fun. I like the way they've done the sprite, the main sprite of Simon there. I like the way they've given him a proper outline there, so it minimises the colour clash, which is good to see. Lots of layers, plenty of colour used. Here we go in the town, the village. This is excellently drawn. Some comedy here. Are you messing with everyone on the street? Well, in this day and age, you might be done for sexual harassment just for talking to a woman, isn't he? Here's the altar. Beautiful statue, isn't it? Isn't an ordinary statue, just try praying before it. And I believe it saves your. Oh, this guy's can offer me something. I believe it saves your progress. With a little flicker of the candles there, beautiful. You get special weapons as well later in the game, and you can improve obviously your whip. All the usual tropes of the Castlevania series, and there's plenty of exploration. Like I said, this is a big game for the Specky. I think this is the kind of game that come back in the day would have actually blown people's minds. Not to say that Konami wouldn't have sued their arse off for it, but since Konami don't give a shit about Castlevania anymore, or for that matter any of their decent franchises, it seems, it's fair game. I don't know whether the Rewind crew had any problems releasing it. Maybe they did, I don't know. It's also available as a physical release as well, which is really cool. It's nice when indie games get physical releases. It kind of solidifies their sort of existence. It's really good when that happens. What's this lady here? Alina. Hey Simon, do you remember me? Do you have a minute? Do you remember you've shown me your magic map? Oh yeah, that's right. I've got to get the map off her. That's it. But I need 200 gold for that. So that's why this is what I'm saying. Got to do a bit of go back to the skeletons, do a bit of little grinding here and there. I noticed because if you go into the next stage, then you just get capped off rather bloody quickly. So just show you that, and lovely rendition of Bloody Tears here. Really good. There's some gold there. Got a nice big 5-pack or whatever the hell was in there. But yeah, lovely little rendition of Bloody Tears. This really good. But like I said, I die here because this is one of my first playthroughs. So I'll leave it there. Castlevania Spectral Interlude on the ZX Spectrum. Who'd have thunk I'd have said a sentence like that? But it's true, it's here, it's physical, it's real. And it's bloody good. So give it a go. Cheers. No Bug and the Belmonts out.